This is always ready, Matt Cardona, the internet champion and the host of the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast. But there's another podcast I want you to check out, and that is the Crash and Burn Podcast. Check it out every single episode. Make sure you subscribe, comment, like, do all that fun stuff, and you never know. Maybe one day you'll see the Crash and Burn Podcast take on the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast in the middle of the ring. And you know who's going to win? Me. Because you guys, you're not always ready. Crash and Burn!
Happy Friday, happy January, and welcome to an episode as we're going down the aisle for another episode of the Crash and Burn Wrestling Podcast, the fastest rising podcast in all of professional wrestling. We are going to be reviewing the first ever pay-per-view, where it began the journey of the ratings dropping. And that is the first pay-per-view ever since the current draft. And that is Battleground 2016. If we were going to do a review of Battleground, we have to start with this one because I think it's the best, probably the best Battleground that they've had. So I have four great friends here that are going to do this episode with me. The first one I want to bring up is someone who's actually going to come for a throwback pay-per-view, even though he won't come as many, and that is Mr. Standing Ovation, Jason Bailey.
I can't clap, but still, I can still clap my thighs.
You're missing one thing, and that is the Pun Man.
Pun Man.
That's one of my nicknames.
The Pun Master.
Hello.
Next up. Next.
Welcome to Crash and Burn, where this is 2016 Battleground. So, why I said here, I'm not coming for as much throwback pay-per-views as much as I used to, but I'll be here for this one since I can remember this one, since I barely have time to watch throwback pay-per-views.
All right.
Next is the guy who's always going to be with me here on throwback pay-per-view episodes, and that is Lucas.
Yes, and I'm here to 2016 Battleground. One underrated show. I feel like this show gets a lot of shit, but I feel this one was underrated, like pay-per-views of 2016, in my opinion, because, you know, the big pay-per-view of 2016 was You had some great matches here and there, like with Cena and AJ at SummerSlam, but we're not getting into those today. We're getting into Battleground 2016. I'm excited for this episode, and that's all I gotta say, pretty much. So, yeah.
Next up, I want to bring in the guy with the black shirt and the black hat on. That is Josh.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the fastest rising podcast in professional wrestling, the Crash and Burn Wrestling Podcast. If you guys do not know who I am, I'm the assassin Josh Dinker here. Battleground 2016. You know what's crazy about this pay-per-view? I rarely remember this pay-per-view. I forgot half of the matches because it's been so long. It's been a long time since we talked about this pay-per-view. I mean, I agree with Wyatt. This is the pay-per-view I believe that sunk down and made the ratings start, and it's just continued like that with several pay-per-views years later. But we're gonna dive back into our time machine and go back to 2016. So let's get started.
Next, I want to bring another two of our guests. The first one, the two people I'm gonna bring on is the guy that's sitting there playing video games, downloading Superstars with a Nerf basketball hoop in his room, and that is a guy with a Drew McIntyre shirt, AJ, and also I want to bring in Flats the Flounder.
Yes.
Nice out, man.
Oh, yeah.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the newest episode of the Crash and fucking Burn and Wrestling Podcast.
Did you have coffee or something? What the heck?
Of the world.
You were like this on the Moss test too, bro.
We're going to review Battlegrounds 2016, which, fun fact, this was my first ever pay-per-view that I ever watched when becoming a wrestling fan. And I remember this pay-per-view. I remember this pay-per-view to this day. So It's been a while, and things I could roll my hand up and yeah, for real though, it's been a while. Yeah, and by the way, that's a pun to Stained. As a metal band.
Battleground, all right, man.
God damn it.
Yep. And
Sorry,
also,
Jason, I stole your shit.
It's okay.
Yep. And also, Flats, what makes you come on the episode? Well, I like to kick people's butts.
That is Flats.
That's Flats. But as we are gonna get ready and sit back in our seats, as the Battleground is a full capacity crowd, sold out tickets here in Washington D.C. We are getting ready as fans get ready to their seats as we get ready for the first match, and that is the pre-show. It is Fandango and Tyler Breeze defeated the Usos in a tag team match.
What?
Oh,
For
this is
me,
I forgot that even happened.
this is when the Usos were face, I believe. Yeah, this
was like 2 months before the Usos made their heel turn. So the match was like 5 minutes. I'm sure it was pretty solid. I don't think I've ever watched the match, but I know Tyler Breeze made a steal after he made a small package pin on, I don't know which Uso it was, but I think it was a good steal for a win there for Breezango. But that's all I'm gonna say. Josh.
Honestly, I forgot like this match even existed. Like it's been so long, like since this. I remember watching this pay-per-view of 2016. Like it was a solid way to kick it off. It wasn't the greatest, but this was slowly as the Usos were starting to lose into the face phase. This was before though, but personally, this was starting to be like the end of the road as as faces. I love the Usos either way, face heel, but I more like them heel because it's basically who they are. It's their inner selves that make them heel. But it was a solid match. I'm not
All
gonna
the
go crazy
Usos
about
are
it.
nowadays is Roman's bitches.
That is true.
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 I miss the Usos from 2017 and 2018. They didn't back down. Now the Darren is just basically having a threesome with Roman Reigns, probably.
All there are is Roman's bitches.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love the Usos, but
Turn on him.
all right.
God.
Josh, did you go?
Yeah, I'm good. Next
All
person.
right, AJ.
I kind of forgot about this match, and I can say this. When the Usos lost, and this was the time they were faces, and I had, like, kind of didn't know who they were at the time, but now, like, through the last, like, let's say about 5.5 years as a wrestling fan, I definitely know who these guys are now, and Breezango, but this match was alright, and this was, like, the last match of the, like, Usos being babyface on pay-per-view until they turned heel, which was a good move. I really did like it, and they were getting stale for a minute,
They were.
I feel like the Usos made a great move. I feel like WWE made a good move there, turning Usos heel and doing what they do and just pretty much make them the biggest stars in the tag team division right now. But even though they keep losing and losing and losing and losing and losing, and right now it's just ridiculous. But anyways, this was an alright match though.
Lucas.
Yeah, so again, I want to make a point that this is before on the Battleground. I remember I was at Raw 2016 and I saw the Usos and I booed them. I'll be honest, I booed them because I still they were getting, and you know what, I respect the Usos face, right? You know, face paints and everything. I was fine with it, but you know, sometimes you know it kind of gets stale. Sometimes you need something new up in a while. And with this match, whatever, it still had that little face thing going on. I didn't really buy into it. And with Bizongo around that time, it was a newer tag team. I didn't think they formed in 2016, I believe. So it's starting their run on SmackDown, you know, as a fashion po-po. And I really think they should have been tag team champions, honestly. Like they had weird gimmicks and everything like that. So,
Right.
But yeah, only thing I'm gonna say is it was an alright match. Don't remember much of it, but the next match I do remember though.
Jason.
Before that, let's take a pic for Instagram.
Oh shit.
Oh, yeah.
no, right.
All right. 1, 2, 3. All right, all good.
Yeah.
Right.
So for this match, I mean, I respect the teams, but I didn't really care about this match as I didn't know the two very well, but I at least respect them. So
Yeah.
it's a solid 5-minute match.
All right. Now we're gonna get ready to talk on the main card here. AJ, when I announce some of the shitty matches, I better hear some booing by you. First match.
The rant. Oh.
You
no.
ready? First
Yes.
match. Dasha Banks and Bayley defeated Charlotte Flair and Dana Brooke.
Ooh.
I forgot they were like
Yeah.
a team.
I remember. I remember
Oh,
this.
God.
So what happened was Charlotte and Dana were going to team up against Sasha and a partner of her choosing. And it was very expected it was going to be Bayley. And I thought Bayley was going to get called up right after that, but she didn't do it until SummerSlam. And I thought Bayley was going to be the one to take the belt off Charlotte. But it was Sasha, which Sasha did it actually the following night. I really didn't care much for this match because I don't think I watched it. But but I really thought, I mean, it was very expecting for them to win, and Bayley was the most predictable pick. But I mean, Sasha Banks is forever going to be an egotistical bitch as she is.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And Bayley's all right, but God, I can't speak. I don't know why, but but yeah, that's all I'm gonna really say on this match. I know, ever since Sasha won the belt, they were gonna flop it around with the title. So, not much to say. But all fact is me and Evan say Bayley's probably the hottest one in the Four Horsewomen.
Shout out to Evan, by the way.
Yeah. But as of that, I'm gonna let someone go here. AJ.
Oh,
AJ.
this one is actually. This was a good match. I mean, Bayley had her main roster debut pretty much on pay-per-view, which was a good way to debut her.
Totally.
Really, and ever since the women's division really changed over the years because of Charlotte and Sasha and Bayley. And I know why I hate Sasha so much because she's an egotistical bitch. But
AJ, you like Sasha?
Come on, man. You know you do.
But anyway, but I feel like Sasha is a good wrestler. Just saying that. And also Bayley's a great wrestler. Becky and Charlotte, they're kind of underrated right now. But overall this match, and and Dana Brooke and Charlotte, yeah, kind of on that's a forgettable pair to be honest. But
yeah, totally.
To this day, for some reason, but even though this match was good, and I'm really glad that Bayley made her debut.
Jason.
So,
I remember watching this match and then being surprised with Bayley coming out. So I thought she was gonna called up, but turned out it happened shortly afterwards. So maybe this is probably a match like prepare her for a main roster run, maybe.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I think they made it work out, and they're all good talent. But I think Sasha is a bitch as a person, but
Yeah.
but I respect her work in the ring at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Josh.
other than that, I think it's a pretty good match to kick off the show.
Josh.
I honestly vaguely remember Charlotte and Dana Brooke as a pair. I know it was like it was something very short-lived, and it was very, it wasn't the type of pairing that you us fans were expecting, but honestly, I liked how the Bailey call-up situation worked because it's like you're starting off your matches on a pay-per-view, which is a good way to start. I agree with AJ on that one and Jason as well. And you know, and then following SummerSlam that year, she got called up. I liked how it was a start, and then like, oh, we're gonna call you up at SummerSlam. You're gonna team up with Sasha Banks. You're gonna team up with whoever in the next few months and all that stuff. But overall, it was a solid contest. Of course, I agree with most of y'all. Sasha Banks is a bitch. Fun fact about that: Sasha Banks is a egotistical bitch when you meet her at the airport. But in all honesty, this is real facts. Sasha Banks is the sweetest person when you meet her at an autograph signing, but just done at an airport.
Yeah,
That's
people
why.
stalk her. Literally.
Yeah, that's why. Because all these marks had to put Sasha. All her fans, all her annoying ass fans have to push her to get a title shot. But if Sasha doesn't take the belt off Charlotte, Sasha's gonna cry and bitch and leave for several months. So
yeah, that's the
Evans
one
even
thing
said
that gets annoying. But overall, it was a solid match.
Yeah, and Mr. Lucas.
Yeah, so with Bailey, Bailey, it was very predictable. I'll say that, like with Bailey coming in, like Bailey just a debut, and it was predictable because the so-called best friends or whatever like that, and with her babyface gimmick or whatever. I mean, at first it was good, but it got kind of stale at later years. So her gimmick is actually pretty good in my opinion, and I expect it to be at the Rumble, hopefully. But the match though, with Charlotte did it, Brooke, I actually really do remember this pair, and honestly, it was like a protege, but it was like short-lived, and I feel like it could have been a long run, anything like that, but it didn't work out as well, and that's probably the best what Dane Brooke has done, and that is saying something because she's shit. But with the match, it was all right. I mean, you got some good spots here and there, but big statement, one like that, just tap out. It's just regular things that happen. And with Bailey, I think loses to Asuka, I believe, and with the curtain call, I believe that it's like, hey, go on to the main roster now.
Yeah,
I didn't know the good write off for her to get off the main roster, not main roster, NXT roster,
yeah.
and yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about that. The match is all right. I mean, not the best thing in the world, but still, it's all right.
Are you guys ready for the next match?
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
Wait for this one.
All right. Bray Wyatt, Eric Rowan, and Braun Strowman defeated the New Day in a 6-man tag team match.
Oh, I remember this.
I remember this
Oh,
one.
yes.
All right. I thought the match wasn't bad. I think the Wyatts deserved the win. I think this was when like Luke Harper was injured or something. But I mean, this was a decent, as Xavier Woods had a big fear against Bray Wyatt. This was actually when the New Day wasn't that bad. But I do remember Kofi Kingston accepting the challenge, and then Xavier Woods didn't want to do it, which I kind of thought it was going to lead to a New Day split up only if the Wyatts took the belts off the New Day, which was very not a thing that was actually not going to happen, in my opinion. But I do remember one on an episode of Raw when the New Day cosplayed as the Wyatt family.
I remember that.
Made fun of them on an episode of Raw. And, this match wasn't that bad. You had some great spots, especially when Braun Strowman, gave the big boot onto the corner and falls over the ring. Kofi Kingston doing all these jumps and Xavier Woods having his fear. And, of course, Bray Wyatt hits the Sister Abigail on the Woods. 1, 2, 3, it's over, which I thought it was going to be the Wyatt family leading to a face turn in April 2020 because, the Wyatt family attacked League of Nations earlier that year and Roman teamed up with Bray in a tag team match earlier that year, but they fucked it all up, which I would have loved to see a babyface run by the Wyatt family. Not gonna lie. That would have been dope. That would have been dope. But they didn't, and Bray got traded to SmackDown. Rowan went to SmackDown. Braun went to Raw, and the New Day went to Raw. But as of that, still pretty good, solid match. I'm gonna see. Let's have Jason go.
Yeah.
Probably one of the best matches on the card. The build-up had me hooked on this matchup. So you know what? They made the build-up good, and they told the story in this match.
Oh my
And
god,
I think it worked.
you.
Lucas.
That's some of that fun, truly.
You know what? Let's let Josh go.
Yeah, I'll go. Honestly, I agree with a lot of you guys. Well, mainly Wyatt. I agree that the Wyatt family should have had a face run. I would have not minded to see that, but mainly I feel like the characters were more towards a heel type gimmick. But I wouldn't mind either one, face heel, like like any superstar that I enjoy watching. I wouldn't mind if they're face or heel. I enjoy at them due to their in-ring competition, their character, and etc. I don't mind that they're heel or babyface, but I kind of added in there because it's part of the character thing. But honestly, this was one of my favorite feuds of 2016. I wanted something, two of like the top factions to feud. I was saying do the Shield and the Wyatts. That would, because I was big on the Wyatt family when they first came.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, when you're a little kid, you boo them because they're bad guys. You don't know any better. But once you get older, you're like, damn, I love these guys back in the day. But Luke Harper was injured at that time, I believe. So adding Braun Strowman as like the backup in a mix was a great way to start him off as a superstar, and then building him up as the monster among men, leading to his release, sadly. But it was painful to see him go, but I enjoyed moments while he was there as the black sheep of the Wyatt family. It was really cool that they added something different. Like, you had Rowan. It was like, two sheep guys. Like
that worked.
That was interesting. So, but I enjoyed the New Day, but then once they became so like overrated, winning the tag titles back to back to back, it kind of got annoying, but I
think
still
the
love
New Day
them.
started getting stale ever since they got traded to SmackDown.
Exactly. Yeah. So overall, this was one of my favorite matches of the card. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Let's let Lucas go.
All right. So I remember this completely because Harper was injured, and I went to Wyatt face, but like a vigilante. I actually went to see that with a vigilante Wyatt family, not necessarily for the good, but not necessarily for the bad either. So kind of like Spawn, if I've ever seen it like that. With the match though, it was actually a decent match. I remember they had a brawl at the compound. Y'all remember that? Remember the compound brawl they had, the New Day and the Wyatt family?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it was before that. And Xavier Woods was scared. He Bray Wyatt had his axe. I thought it was gonna slice him apart. I was like, that dude is dead, bro. But around that time, I started getting more into Wyatt family. Bray Wyatt's become one of my favorites, and I'm gonna be honest, he was ahead of his time. He really was ahead of his time. But his creativity was amazing, and WWE big sport for him. But with the Wyatt family coming back in 2016, it was a underwhelming, in my opinion. They could have done it way more better than that, in my opinion. But with New Day, in 2016, I didn't like him. So
compound.
Yes, I remember.
I remember that. Yeah,
that was good.
That was good. Yeah, and with the match, it was good and everything like that. I think with Strowman in there, it brings something good to there, and one of the best matches of the night, but not the match of the night. That's two matches from later on. I'll give you a hint for there.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go.
AJ, go.
This match was actually good and really told the story here, and WWE can't do any of this stuff anymore because they're complete jackasses. And I feel like this match was really good, and this was a great way to prove the dominance of the Wyatt family. But Braun got drafted to Raw, which was a good move because he became one of the top main event players for years until he got released, which was a shame. And also like the Wyatt family, Bray, Rowan, Harper. Yeah, that was like the OG Wyatt family because Strowman was only there just to replace Luke Harper while he was injured, right?
No.
No.
Oh, wait.
Oh wait, no.
He replaced him when Eric Rowan was out of
Oh
action.
yeah.
And then Eric Rowan was cleared
until
and
Rowan
then
back, and then like they fully added Braun, and then yeah, that was actually cool. But when Harper came back, that was when the original OG Wyatt family got back, and then Rowan was injured, and then boom, and then they fall apart and all that. But I feel like they could have like proved SmackDown. I feel like SmackDown needed like a faction, which was the Wyatt family, because SmackDown was like they would really good with the tag team division, but I feel like him and Rowan and Harper would dominate the tag team division of SmackDown at the time. But overall, this match was really good. And then New Day went to Raw with the tag titles and then lost it to the Bar, and then they never had a Raw Tag Team Championship match, and until during the Monday Night Raw draft of 2020, and then they got drafted to Raw and they got drafted to SmackDown, which I was salty about.
the New Day had a couple rematches after they dropped the title. Yeah.
Yeah, but anyways, this match was really good.
AJ, we know you love the New Day.
Yes, I do.
You do. All right, next
Are you still?
match.
Oh,
What? Everyone go here?
yes.
Okay. I was just making sure. All right, next match. Rusev defeated Zack Ryder to retain the United States Championship.
I remember.
Oh, that was dumb.
Yes.
I would talk
Before
about
it
this.
goes there. I think the match wasn't too bad in my opinion because Zack Ryder really put on his best performance that night. And that was literally when Zack Ryder, when they were giving him like a lower mid-card, a decent mid-card spot. Because, you had him beat Sheamus on an episode of SmackDown. Zack Ryder had his American gear that night with the red, white, and blue representing the USA. And, Lana came out ring announcing because they were about to get married shortly. And Rusev looking like a Sasquatch. And I do remember the parts when like they threw each other around the barricades. And I think this was probably their best match where Zack Ryder actually really put on his performance that night, because I remember their first match against each other was Rusev's debut, and Rusev squashed him in like a minute. But in this match, Zack Ryder was trying to get out of the camel clutch, and then Rusev bent his back even more, and Zack Ryder was knocked out. And then you had Mojo Rawley, who recently got drafted to SmackDown at the time, come out and interrupt Rusev and save Zack Ryder, because you had the Hype Bros on the main roster. So,
dude, that was so underwhelming.
Bad.
Yeah. But Hype Bros main roster run was very underwhelming. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yep.
Let's start with Lucas.
Yes. So actually, I'm glad you actually brought me up, actually. With this match, Ryder was in an American gimmick or whatever it was, American gear. And Ryder did like some kind of drop kick off the barricade, what I think was a cool spot or whatever. And he did put on effort he can in this match or whatever. But with this match, it's just Rusev being Rusev. I mean, around that time, yes, he got beat by Cena multiple times or whatever. But still going back to that dominant route. Because Rusev was honestly good in the ring, in my opinion. And they really shouldn't make him world champion, in my opinion. And with Zack Ryder, man, like, dude, like, I don't know what happened. They dropped the ball with him just like that. And ever since he did the feud with Kane, he's not been the same ever since.
Yeah.
And but this match, it was actually cool. And with the bang in the back, I at first I kind of cringed at that because I thought his back broke. So that's when Mojo came out. And the Hype Bros, it was mid. I'll just say that. But yeah, not the worst match, but not the best match. I'll put it.
Right.
So, yeah.
AJ, you want to go?
Yep. Oh my god. This match was really good. Like, Rusev and Ryder really went at it until the fucking ending when fucking Mojo Rawley was stupid enough to cost Zack Ryder the match.
He
What
didn't
the-
cost them the match.
I know, but
Mojo Rawley came out.
he was
after
trying
that.
to interfere with Rusev, but it backfired. Oh my god. I hated that ending so much. That really destroyed Zack Ryder there. And then December he got fucking injured. and then WWE was stupid enough to reunite them when they knew that it wasn't working out until later. Because they challenged the Bludgeon Brothers at Clash of Champions in 2017, and then they broke up and fuck. Okay, anyways, oh my god.
I knew Mojo was turning on him.
Oh my god, I hated the ending. Like when Mojo came out and then just pretty much like try to interfere. It really like destroyed Ryder there ever since. I mean the Kane stuff, yeah, that really destroyed him. But like this was a good match though. Rusev and Ryder, really underrated match to be honest, because this is when two released superstars from 2020, by the way, going at it. But this was a really good match, but not a lot of people have talked about it because and plus Zack Ryder or Matt Cardona was wearing the Sting Ultimate Warrior and Macho Man gear, American style, and we got an elite figure of that already, which is a sick figure. But now this match right here was really good. I really enjoyed it until Mojo Rawley interfered, which pissed me off so much. Fuck this ending, man. Fuck this ending. The Hype Bros should have never happened, to be honest, because it should have happened. Man, the Hype Bros is not gonna work at all for the next 10 years. Gotta be kidding me, man. But anyways,
Stay high, man. Stay high.
I'm not even hyped right now. This was the stupidest. This was a stupid tag team, man. Come on. Anyways, move on to the next person.
All right, let's go with Jason.
Ooh.
For this match, it's just a match that existed. To me, there's nothing really special about it, so I'm gonna pass.
Wow.
Josh.
Honestly, I thought this match was, a match that was a filler. It
Existed, like Evan would say.
I just didn't care for it, honestly. Like, here's the thing about Zack Ryder and WWE that pissed me off. The thing was, Zack Ryder was with the company. Well, I should say Matt Cardona was with the company.
Here.
Yeah, he was with the company for a long time. I remember him on ECW when he was that cocky son of a bitch with Rosa Mendes. Then when ECW ended, he went to Raw and stuff like that, and then he just became, an instant jobber for like. I think the reason him being a jobber was like he was in the company for a long time. So, but honestly, that match was just bullshit. Fucking Mojo Rawley, dumbass. But Mojo's cool.
Mm-hmm.
All
right, next match.
I got the sniffles.
Next match, and it's going to be the match that Lucas loved the most. Sami Zayn defeated Kevin Owens.
Oh, yes, dude.
Yes.
Oh, I like that.
All right.
Fuck yes.
All right. This match was not too bad, but I think I think Sami Zayn was the right guy to win here. Sami as a face wasn't too bad, but ever since Sami's been a heel, Sami's just really gone downhill, and he's been more of a cuck. But as of that, the match wasn't that bad. I think Sami was the right guy to win because literally Kevin was kicking Sami's ass ever since Sami's been called up to the main roster. They both got drafted to Raw. I do remember the ending of it where Kevin leans on Sami. Sami pushes him back. Another Kaluva kick. 1, 2, 3, over. But as of that, they call it Fight Forever, which never happened because time has changed.
Yeah.
Let's start with Jason.
Of course.
A fantastic match. So I like the stories of like your like storyline friend turning on you and it turns into a whole feud, and then with that they put on great matches. So you know what, this was another match standout for me. I enjoyed it.
Yep. Watchdog.
Watchdog.
All right. Josh.
This was another match that I really enjoyed. I mean, I really enjoyed these two. Their matches together were freaking awesome. Like, I remember watching NXT on the network at the time. I think it was back when Owens debuted, and it was when Sami Zayn won the NXT title. And I remember I was like, "Who's this Kevin Owens guy?" I'm like, and then I watched a couple of his matches, when he was Kevin Steen, and I watched back. I'm like, this guy's awesome. So I didn't expect, I read him and Zayn were best friends in real life, and I guess it was a feud that he was coming. I don't know how it all started, but honestly, it started, Sami Zayn wins the title from Neville, aka Pac, nowadays in AEW, and then, Zayn gets powerbombed on the apron. He's out with an injury, comes back on the main roster, beats the shit out of Kevin Owens, and it starts from there.
Yep.
And then, I mean, they always had, great matches, but now Sami as a heel, he's just getting stale, and they should turn him face again. He should be going back to the Sami Zayn we all loved. But honestly, Sami Zayn's just an annoying prick nowadays, but he's still a great wrestler in my opinion. But overall, back then, this was my second favorite match of the night. Hands down.
All I'm going to say is John Cena versus Sami Zayn at Raw in Montreal was a damn good match.
It was.
I agree.
I'm going to say this. John Cena is the greatest NXT champion of all time.
Yep.
Because, I'm going to let AJ go.
Oh, my God, dude. This was one of many Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn matches that really, got me hyped because, literally, this match was fucking good. It was an alright match and all that, but, oh, my God, dude. Alright, I don't care what anyone say about this. I don't mind seeing another Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn feud because they know how to put a fucking show. Literally. They can
Not
literally
last year, they didn't. No.
What do you mean?
The Mania match will turn into shit.
Yeah, because the audience didn't appreciate it, man. But, God, I just want to see another Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn match next year, hopefully. But, anyways, but this match right here was fucking good. Just saying, man.
Yeah.
Woo! I don't mind seeing another Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn match, to be honest, right now. But anyways, this match right here was fucking good. That's next person.
I let this man go last because I know he has a lot to talk about. Lucas.
Yeah, so this goes all the way back to where Sami Zayn was El Generico And this is also like Karen Owens with Kevin Steen. And they're like best friends, whatever. They're on screen and off screen best friends, whatever. And they had the matches in Ring of Honor with the Battle Wars. The Ring of Honor Battle Wars. You remember that match? That is the best KO, El Generico, whatever. That's the best Karen Owens match of all time. I'm saying that right now. Go check that match out. That match was awesome. And then, they both leave. And, Sami Zayn won the title from Neville. And then Kevin Owens is going to come celebrate. And then the heel turn was, like, very unexpected. I didn't expect that heel turn. But, my God, they did it really well. Because I don't care what anyone says, Kevin Owens at the heel is gold. It's really gold. And, he works well as a heel. And with this match or whatever, it was amazing. Like, this goes all the way back to, TakeOver when Kevin Owens beat Sami Zayn for the title as well. Before then. Kevin Owens, like, legit beat the shit out of Sami Zayn. So, like, power bombs, steel chair shots, till Samoa Joe came out. And then the Royal Rumble comes along. Sami Zayn comes out. Kevin Owens go at each other. Sami Zayn eliminates him. And then they get other matches at Payback. Which is also an alright match. But we get to Battleground. And the emotions to this are already high. But my God, I didn't really expect this to be that good. But these two killed it. We had one spot where Sami Zayn got the exploder. No, it was a brainbuster on the apron. Brutal spot, I'll say that. And Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn have hella near falls. Back and forth they go. And let me tell you, the ending was well written. Well written right there, because it's like Sami Zayn kind of like, held him up. It's like, I'm sorry I have to do this, but you turned on me. I'm going to do this to you now, motherfucker. And he kicked him in the face to get the Hoover kick. 1, 2, 3. And that's how it's done. And Sami Zayn around that time was a great babyface. I don't mind seeing a babyface again. Him as a heel is not really the best, but him as a face was awesome. And I think KO and Sami Zayn always have like great matches, in my opinion. And this reminds me of Gargano and Ciampa NXT. This is about the main roster of Gargano and Ciampa. And I also say it reminds me of Wyatt Triple H and Shawn Michaels as well, because of the way they're good friends, whatever, and they carry out each other. Basically, it was just like them going at it for years now. And I would like to see one more match against them as the winner, the done feuding or whatever. I actually would mind seeing a team up and attack the champion. That should be cool as well. But this match is match of 9, in my opinion. These two really killed it. And this is one of the better Sami Zayn Kevin Owens matches in WWE. I think, personally, this is top 3 Sami Zayn matches, in my opinion, because his number 1 match, go check out Shinsuke Nakamura versus Sami Zayn. That's all I'm going to say.
Yep.
But great match, and this is one of my better matches of the night for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as much as emotion it has, it's just as emotional when Harold the helicopter got exploded on Robot Chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, next match. We better hear some negativity on this one. Natalya defeated Becky Lynch by submission.
Oh!
I'm gonna pass on this one. I just don't care about it.
What match was it?
Natalya defeated Becky Lynch by submission.
Fuck that shit.
I remember their feud started ever since Natalya turned on Becky at Money in the Bank that year. And of course they both got drafted to SmackDown. So not gonna lie, Becky in 2016 was probably the best Becky Lynch I've seen. Not gonna lie. I think Becky is the last kicker. Not bad. Because, Becky, probably the best version of Becky was the last kicker, but now I can't fucking stand her. But this match, I really didn't care. All I know is the match sucked. It's kind of weird to have Natalya win that match, but it's just hard to believe Natalya's still here in WWE today. It's crazy.
Right.
Yeah, but not much to say on that. I know their feud was garbage, and Becky's always been better as the last kicker. And Jason, you want to pass?
Yep, I'll pass.
I'm gonna go with
Pass.
Josh.
Pass.
Luke.
Yeah. So for me, I remember Natalia turned on Becky Lynch. I remember that.
Yeah.
Natalia reminds me of the Big Show. When this heel or face, they can't pick a fucking side.
No.
One minute you're face and 1 minute you're heel. Like pick a fucking side. Seriously.
Exactly.
A true remember, kids, a true Big Show return is only if Big Show switches from a face to a heel or a heel to a face. Remember, kids.
Remember that Big Show turned heel like 40 times. But yeah, this match was I mean, I didn't really care much about it. I mean, the better match is probably 2019, in my opinion. But this match is I don't know why the heel turn happened. I don't know why they were attacked in the first place. And this is kind of pointless to me. So yeah.
The only way I would smash Becky Lynch is if she was the last kicker.
Yeah.
AJ.
Now she might get smashed by Roman. Wink, wink.
Yeah. This match was weak. I mean, kind of underwhelming feud, to be honest. Ugh. I don't know. I wasn't feeling this match at all. Like, I didn't really care about it. And, yep. Yeah. Fuck this match. This match is weak.
All right. Next match. It is going to be AJ's going to go last on this one. The weakest match on the card. The Miz and Darren Young with having Maurice and Bob Backlund on opposite sides at ringside.
Oh!
Ended
No!
in a double disqualification.
Bullshit!
Oh no, I remember.
No! Fuck that match.
As much as Darren Young Great Again gimmick, it was one of the most failed gimmicks ever. Ever since Darren Young lost, ever since that ended in a double DQ, Darren Young hasn't made an appearance ever since. Yep. That all scrapped. Bob Backlund and Darren Young was never going to work. I thought it would succeed when I was 14 at the time, but me today, this was never going to work. Darren Young won the #1 contender battle royal without touching anybody.
Raw.
All I know is in that match, how it ended, of course, is when Maurice and Bob Backlund were after each other. Maurice slaps Bob Backlund, and Bob Backlund falls on the ground. Bob Backlund and Miz go at it, and then after Miz puts his hands on Bob Backlund, Darren Young puts Miz in a chicken wing, and then that's how it ends. Which I think it was, remember, I think it was kind of ridiculous that they would do that because Darren Young was not ready to get that Intercontinental title shot.
Exactly.
He needed to be built up more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And all I know is, if you're going to freaking do that, if you know WWE, if it's not going to work to have Miz and Darren Young have a failed gimmick, and that match ending that way, if it wasn't going to work, then don't do it. Then don't do it. I'm going to tell you, that pissed me off because that was one of the most wasted failed gimmicks of all time.
Oh, that was totally
to make
true.
Darren Young great again, which never worked. It was good to see Bob Backlund, though, because he's one of the longest reigning WWE champions. All respect to him. But, Miz, that was probably one of the Miz's underrated Intercontinental title reigns. That reign in 2016, that was probably one of the most forgettable Miz title reigns I can remember. Because it's hard to believe Miz had the belt that long. I'm gonna start with Josh.
Yeah, so So what match are we talking about? I just lost my
The
mind.
Miz and Darren Young ended in a double
Oh.
disqualification.
Oh, this fucking shit. Oh god. Oh god. Where do you want me to begin with Darren Young? Okay. I'm gonna say this about the Make Darren Young Great Again gimmick.
Mhm.
That gimmick was so poor. Like, it was so bad. Like, everyone thought that Darren Young was gonna get somewhere and, obviously try to, get a successful run in his career in WWE. But obviously that did not go as planned. Making Bob Backlund your manager and him doing this, like, parody of Make America Great Again bullshit. No, it didn't
Because
work.
they did it because Donald Trump was running for president that year.
Exactly.
Yep.
And, like, it just didn't work. I mean, Darren Young, he's a good wrestler. He's now actually wrestling in Japan now, but I love what he stands for. Block the hate.
Block the hate.
But
He
it
kicks
just
ass
didn't.
in NWA.
It just didn't work well with this gimmick. Like, primetime players, he was in his prime until
Yeah.
jobber material got in the way. But the Miz, on the other hand, you gotta love the Miz. You gotta love what he's done in the ring all the years he's been there. But yeah, it just was. Darren Young's gimmick was a gimmick that didn't work. It was very short, and he basically lost every match. It was a match that pretty much sucked.
Mm-hmm. All I know is I know Darren Young has definitely been kicked ass in NWA. That's definitely true. I think he was. I think he was one of the perfect people in that for NWA. But I just think they really fucked Darren Young over after that.
True.
Like, that's all I'm gonna say. Let's go with Lucas.
Here we go again.
Mhm.
So let me just go ahead and say this. What the fuck was that? And that was one of the most oddest endings I have ever seen in my life.
Mhm.
I was probably like 12 around that time. I don't even know how old I was.
I was 14.
Like, in my 12 years of my life, that was one of the weirdest endings I've ever seen in my life. And me, I was young. I thought actually they make Darren great again because he went to privatized prayers, and he went to solo, went to jobber, tried to make himself great again, even though it fucking failed like a bitch, and went back to jobber, then he got released. There you go.
All right.
And
Yes.
I'm still going.
Oh, that's right. You're still going.
But with this match, man, like, why? I think it's a start of Miz had his good Intercontinental Championship run, but still, like, why would you make this match even happen? Bob Backlund and Jerry Young were not going to work in the first place. They're not going to work. They're not a good combo. And why would this even happen in the first place? I respect Bob Backlund. I respect what he did for the business.
Oh, yeah.
But still, like, why did you pair him up with Jerry Young? I don't know who the fuck came up with that idea or whatever like that, but that was just a failed opportunity for Jerry Young. Like, he could have been something, like, great. Because he was good in the ring with Tyrus O'Neil. But, but they fumbled the bag with him. Now he's doing great things, in Japan, NWA now, which is good for him. I'm glad. And, I'm glad of it now, but still, like, why would this the thing? Like, I would rather remember some other things. Hell, I rather remember my whole than this. Like, seriously, like, why is this the thing? Why? All right, I'm gonna let somebody else go before I start wrecking shit. So yeah, Jason.
In a double disqualification, I don't like those type of endings. So, yeah, a pretty forgettable match. I'll keep it at that.
Here we go, AJ.
AJ.
Oh, he's gonna go ape shit.
Ape shit rant.
Here we go.
Freeze, AJ.
Hold
freeze.
on. Give me a second here.
I think he's preparing to rant.
Oh, here we go. You
Oh,
gotta go.
I'm so excited.
March Madness. Hold up.
I can't find.
Oh.
Oh,
All right. Moving on.
Beak.
I can't even find the shirt. Anyways. What was that?
what was that?
Seriously.
Yeah.
Why? Why a double disqualification? First of all, weakest match of the night. Second of all, too much interference. Third of all, the crowd didn't like it. Oh my god. And Darren Young did not deserve an opportunity at the IC title. When both men are in different brands at the time. But I'm so mad about this match. I'm glad it never happened again. And we haven't saw Darren Young until he got released. We never saw Darren Young ever again after this. So yeah, that was a waste of his career. I'm glad he's doing better things in New Japan now and all that shit. And Miz is doing better things on Raw now. But what the fuck was that match? Fuck that match. I don't care about this match. And I'm gonna throw my phone like that.
Whoa.
AJ. Easy. We haven't even finished up the show yet.
Oh, AJ, we're almost done, AJ, we're almost done.
Tranquilo, mi amigo. Tranquilo, mi amigo.
AJ, we're gonna calm down here as we talk as one of the best matches on the card, and that is John Cena, Enzo, and Cass defeated AJ Styles, Luke Gallows, and Carl Anderson in a 6-man tag team match. For me personally, I think I'm glad that match actually existed. That was honestly a great 6-man tag. You know, Enzo and Cass stepping up to join Cena for this. I mean, at least Cena and AJ's feud at least had a 6-man tag team match, and I think Battleground was the right place to go. But that was the only time Cena beat AJ in their feud in 2016. But the thing I'm gonna say is, I mean, I think the match really was good spots in there, especially Cass throwing Enzo all over the place and Enzo hitting a tornado DDT and whatever else. And I love how the match ended as Cena ate Styles off the top rope. And of course, you had Enzo and Cass go to Raw, Gallows and Anderson go to Raw, and AJ and Cena go to SmackDown. But all honest, I do think they had a decent feud, even though it was only for one pay-per-view. But not much else to expect here as they all go departure ways. And Cena and AJ continue their feud into SummerSlam. And I'm glad that I think they all killed it here. But that's all I'm going to say. Let's start with... I'm going to start with... Let's see. I'm going to start with Lucas.
Yes, so around 2016, I was a big fan of AJ Styles. I was a big fan of the club, and I followed AJ for most of his career. And going to this match or whatever, it's an interesting match because I've seen Big Cass a lot, but I've not seen Enzo a lot. Because Enzo, I think, was injured with a concussion by Simon Gotch. And with this match going on, like, say what you want about Enzo, but he and Big Cass are a great tag. They should have been tag champions around that time.
Yeah,
they were hot, and you know what? They were good. They were good, and you know, in the ring they were good, and they had shots. You know, they had a few of the Dudleys at first. You know, they had their thing with the villains and everything like that. But through the match, it was good. But I never see a combo like that. It actually worked out pretty well. You know, you have the club, Cena, Enzo, and Cass. And I remember this one spot when Enzo did a DDT like off the rope, and then he got I think it was Carl Anderson, I think. The DDT, that was a risky spot, but it actually worked out. But you know, this is the only time I've seen it be AJ Styles before the Rumble.
Yes.
2017. And you know, overall great match. I think they both killed it here. I think it's my third match tonight, in my opinion. because there's two more on top of that, in my opinion. So, yeah, that's all I'm just gotta say. Yeah, I'm considered a big fan of AJ Styles to this day, because he is indeed phenomenal.
I'm gonna go with let's go with Josh.
All right. Probably this was by far another match added to my favorites list. I really enjoyed seeing Enzo and Cass and John Cena team up. And honestly, the club, I knew as soon as Styles came to WWE, they were going to form a faction to basically, I wouldn't say rip off the Bullet Club. I would basically say kind of like WWE's own version, but kind of like, with the guys that came over from Japan. And they just went, they just took the Bullet part out and just put the club, which it didn't matter to me. It still was kind of the same gimmick. It was kind of like, the Bullet Club stole, technically, Cease and Desist. They did the Too Sweet from, of course, the NWO. But honestly, I enjoyed Enzo and Cass, their time there. And honestly, it was a great match. And definitely another favorite match added to the list. I like the chemistry that Cena and Enzo and Cass had in that match.
Yeah, there's a lot of good chemistry in that match. I'm about to say that. A lot of good chemistry.
Let's go with AJ.
Oh my god, dude. This was my favorite feud of all time. AJ Styles and John Cena going at it. Oh my god, dude. This was the moment I really liked it. Like, we're here to beat up John Cena. I loved that part, dude. Like,
Beat up John Cena!
We're gonna beat up AJ.
Yeah.
Beat up AJ!
Yes! Anyways,
Alright, guys,
Let's give him
do it.
seasonal beating. Come here.
Do it!
okay, motherfuckers, I'm up. Anyways, this match was really good. John Cena and AJ Styles went at it really. Oh wait, was this John Cena and Enzo and Cass versus AJ and Gallows and Anderson? I think it was. Oh yeah, it was. Oh yeah, 6-man tag. Never mind.
Yes.
But this feud right here was actually pretty good. I loved the Enzo Amore roast that he did. Oh my god, that was so hilarious. And also like, John Cena like cutting a promo on both of them. Really good stuff, dude. Like, I really like this feud, and I wish it could have continued, but it's okay though, because half the guys were drafted, like Gallows and Anderson on Raw, Enzo and Cass on Raw.
I think
AJ
Enzo and Cass with the Gallows and Anderson did continue their feud somehow
Yeah,
later.
and AJ and Cena to continue their feud on SmackDown.
Yes.
But anyways, this match right here was freaking fantastic, dude. I really enjoyed it. Really, I did.
All
Next
right. Let's go with standing ovation.
Boo! Boo!
Yeah, clap it up, Jason.
Boo!
Yes.
Yes, this was a huge upgrade from the previous match, and they made it work.
Mhm.
And you know what?
Yes.
I like the match. It was a success.
Okay. Next, I want to actually talk about this before we do the main event, and that is going to be Chris Jericho interviewing Randy Orton on the Chris Jericho's highlight reel.
I
As
remember
Randy Orton was preparing his match against Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam.
Oh, we know what happened.
Which was announced. Which we are going to review SummerSlam 2016 in the future, but we're going to talk about that in the future. But we're going to talk about this interview. I think the interview was pretty good in my opinion, especially when I did like the end of it, as it was out of nowhere when Randy Orton RKO'd Chris Jericho. I thought that was gold. And that was when Randy Orton returned for the first time in like 10 months ever since he had that injury back in October 2015. But I think that was a decent return for Orton, preparing his match for Brock Lesnar. I think Orton and Lesnar should have had a longer feud, but I'm not going to get into that. But I think I'm glad that this was a way to prepare it. That's all I'm gonna say. Let's start with AJ.
This highlight reel was fucking good. I really enjoyed this one, dude. Like, oh, Randy's promo was saying like, no enhancement talent needed. I was like, oh my god, dude. That really like roasted Chris Jericho right there. And oh my god, guys, it was so good. I loved that segment, and I will never forget that segment. I wish they had a match at that time. I really did. But anyways, this was a great segment, man. I really enjoyed it.
Let's go with Josh.
Talk about the main event.
Nope.
We're talking about the highlight
Talking
reel.
about Randy
The
Orton.
highlight reel.
I mean, Chris Jericho interviewing Randy Orton on the highlight reel.
Oh wow, I forgot that even happened on the show. Honestly, I forgot bits and pieces. So like, it was an interview. Basically, it existed.
An American. Okay.
Exactly.
It's
I
American.
don't really say it was an interview. Like, it was just an interview.
It was just an American interview.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on.
Let's go with Lucas.
Okay.
At the interview.
So with me, I would definitely say, from my opinion, when he said no enhancement needed, it was a mention of Brock Lesnar having the enhancement in the UFC. I think that was shocking to hear, and also was like, holy shit, he just did not just do that. And we haven't seen that much of Randy Orton. He just doesn't give a shit. Now Randy Orton, now honestly, I'm just gonna say it. He's kind of into his show with former self. I think what it needs to do is split up RK Bro.
They need to.
They need to. And RK Bro was good. I'll give you that. It was good for what it was. But we need that Let's Cure back. We need that Randy Orton to give a shit no more. That's the Randy Orton that we need. Even though he did get beat up though. She about Slater, but we're not getting into that. But overall, it was our interview. I mean, Jericho basically being the villain himself. This is when Jericho was not really at his peak until he met Kevin Owens. I'll say this: Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho were a great pairing.
They paired up so well.
They really did.
Which they should have had their match for the Universal Championship at WrestleMania 33.
Yes.
They should have. And Jericho should have won it, in my opinion.
And Jericho wins.
But yeah, overall, great match. Not great match. Great interview. Shit.
All right. Jason.
Not much to say on this, as it's just your typical interview that's entertaining. It's yeah, Jericho is one of the best. I liked it.
Okay.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we are going to talk about the match we wanted to talk about for the match of the ages, the main event of the evening. Dean Ambrose retains his WWE Championship against his former Shield brothers, Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, for the WWE Championship. Match of the night. I think the right person won. I think Dean did deserve the title at Money in the Bank. But I'm going to get to myself here. I think, Dean had a very solid run as WWE champion. Because, it never had a chance in 2015. So as of that, Dean moving to SmackDown wasn't a surprise. I mean, that was going to be their pick. But, Seth Raw had a 2 out of 3 chance to get the WWE Championship. But they ended up having to get the Strawberry title. So,
or the rest.
So as of that, I think they really killed it. But what disappoints me is, why would you have this match at Battleground? You could have had it at Survivor Series 2015. You could have had it at WrestleMania. Survivor Series 2015 would have worked if Seth never got injured. You could have had this out at a WrestleMania. I mean, WrestleMania 32 would have worked, but I didn't think so because, you had the feud with the Authority. But you could have had this at a big pay-per-view. But, no, you had it at Battleground, which fucked up the feud is Roman's suspension. That fucked up the feud.
Yeah.
Because Roman got suspended. If anyone remembered that.
Yeah.
Was that with the drug going on?
Yeah, Roman failed a drug test.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Enhancements.
Failure.
So, as of that, it did, that match really killed it. I did like all the spots in the match, especially the one spot where Dean and Roman do a 2/3 of a triple powerbomb to Seth Rollins on the announce table. I did like the end of it, as Seth Rollins gave a pedigree, and then, as Ambrose aimed for the pins Roman Reigns. Of course, the night after, they blamed Roman on it for making Raw not succeed that night. But the WWE Championship went to SmackDown, which honestly was the best move in my opinion. I think Dean was the right person to win that match. And all honest for me, I just think it should not have happened at Battleground, which they had nothing else they could do. But the aftermath was great, especially when the entire SmackDown roster came out and lifted Dean up in the air, and Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan ran out crazy. I think the WWE Championship going to SmackDown was the right way to go, but this all began a new story. So let's see. I'm gonna have Jason go first.
Oh, shit.
Okay, so this was a good way to close out the show. Dean Ambrose was the right person to pick up the win, and
Picked up the dubs.
this started a new era in WWE.
Yes.
So you know what? I enjoyed it, and this match has some good spots there. So you know what?
Mm-hmm.
But Dean, now known as Jon Moxley, was indeed the right person to pick up the win.
Let's do Lucas.
Yeah, so again, I was a big talk to the betrayal of the Shield. I'll say that. That really shocked me because Plan B, we all fought. Let's do, but no, Rollins, and that perfectly, in my opinion. 40 Rollins, that's on it.
Mm-hmm.
But Dasha, I think it was a really good match. Seth Rollins had a great gear, or whatever like that, and then the Steel Triple Threat match was awesome. Like, this is something we've never seen before, and it's something new. And this is before the brands what's gonna happen. Is SmackDown gonna have the title, or Rollins gonna have it? And they gave it to Dean, which is a great move to have, because Ambrose was hot around the time, winning the Money in the Bank, beating Rollins at the same night, to be exact. And also, like, what was it? Having a match, and Rollins had a great promo in the beginning. Before that, where he said, "When I put a chair in your back and stabbed you," and he did that laugh, going ha 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 ha. And with this match, it was awesome. Like, this match really slapped, and one of the best matches of the night. And Ambrose winning the title was a perfect decision because it brings something new for other people. It went also AJ having the title as well, which it was odd in my opinion. But yeah, overall a great show, and that's all I gotta say. Great match and a lot of psychology. I'll say that. And gives Orange Cassidy thumbs up for me.
Josh.
Honestly, it was a fantastic way to close off the show. I enjoyed, seeing all three of the Shield members facing each other. I was looking forward to that, ever since, the Shield was a faction. I was like, one day I hope these guys face each other once they become solo guys. But people always say, like, who do you guys think is the most successful Shield member that had, like, the most successful run in terms of, like, winning titles and etc. I think it's Rollins. I think Rollins had, like, the best run out of everybody in the Shield. And pretty much, technically, they claim he's a leader. He's the leader of the Shield. There's not really no leader. It's basically just, faction with no leader, pretty much. But honestly, it was a great way to end it off. I felt like, with Ambrose, now Jon Moxley, it was when he was in his prime as a champion. But yeah, I enjoyed the match. It was pretty cool.
All right. AJ, you go.
I feel like this match was really good. Like I can agree with you, Wyatt. It should have happened in Battleground. To be honest, I would have loved to have it.
Yeah.
To have it happened at SummerSlam or Survivor Series at least, because that would have proved who was the true champion of what brand you're on. But anyways, but this match really slapped, and Roman's suspension really fucked up the feud, and
Mm-hmm.
and like the the draft kind of fucked up a little bit, because we obviously knew who was going to win this match. It was probably be Ambrose because he was the champion at the time. But overall, this match really did really well, and it was a good match, and it was a great way to end off the show.
All right. Now we're off to the ratings. For me, I'm going to rate it a 7. All right. Josh.
I'm actually going to go probably a 7.5 out of 10.
All right. AJ.
I'm gonna give this pay-per-view a solid 7.5. I can agree with you, Josh. It was a really solid show, but there was like a lot. There was a couple of things I didn't like about the show, like that. All the mid card title matches, like U.S. title and the IC title match, and then that tag match with Charlotte, Dana, and yeah, because it was not really my favorite of the show, but there was like only 3 things I didn't really like. So yeah.
Jason.
Probably a 7.5. Like, I enjoyed half the show.
Lucas.
I'll give it an 8 out of 10. I mean, honestly, there's just really good matches that really sticked out. But the bad matches also stick out as well. You had the Bob Backlund thing. You had the U.S. Championship match. Just things that was a still. And personally, for me, I will give it an 8 out of 10 because the good matches really stick out, but some of the bad matches do stick out as well. So yeah.
All right. That ends off today for the Crash and Burn Wrestling Podcast. I know we back down on right now, but I just want to get this end thing rolling. Please subscribe to all the other podcasts. Follow everyone on their socials. Support every independent wrestler out there. Keep crashing and burning, and stay tuned for tomorrow's episode, which is the Royal Rumble 2005. Have a good night. Let's see. Let's go with AJ.
Thank you guys for watching another episode of the Crash and Fucking Burn Wrestling Podcast. And I hope you guys enjoy this pay-per-view review of Battleground 2016, which was my first ever pay-per-view that I ever watched. Even though I didn't really stay up for the whole entire pay-per-view because I was young at the time. Like 2016, when I was like 11 years old, pretty much. So yeah, I really did enjoy this pay-per-view overall, and yeah, thank you guys for watching. Go follow us on social media. We just recently launched a TikTok page, so go give us a follow. And also, we launched a TikTok for the Moshcast as well. And I believe we have a cinematic analysis one too, right, Jason?
No.
Oh, not
No.
yet? Oh, yeah? Okay. Yeah, stay tuned for that, guys. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And the last warrior is officially out!
All right. I'm going to see. Let's have Josh go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for watching the fastest rising podcast in professional wrestling, the one and only Crash and Burn Wrestling Podcast. We hope you guys enjoyed our review, going back into our 2016 time machine, as we can say. Well, going back in our time machine, going back to 2016 to review Battleground. Comment down below your thoughts on the show if you watched it back in the day. If you have any thoughts, just leave down a comment. Also, tap the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Drop a like on this episode. Be sure to check out the socials down below in the description. Follow everybody's. It's all going to be down below. And also be sure to follow us on our TikTok pages for both the Moshcast and Crash and Burn. Says AJ. Be sure to follow me on Twitch, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Everything is down below for you guys to check out, so be sure to check the description for all the links and socials and where you guys can find us. And we will see you guys in our next episode for all 3 podcasts.
Yeah.
And the
All
assassin
right.
is out.
Jason and it all.
Thanks for watching this episode of Crash and Burn, where we reviewed the Battleground Premium Live Event, or pay-per-view, however you want to call it.
We would have a pay-per-view. Thanks.
But, your name is AJ, not Jason. So, be sure to check out all 3 podcasts. Wyatt already announced the next episode for Crash and Burn. I'm also announced the next ones for the Moshcasts. Next up, we will review Lost Souls by Caskets.
Mm-hmm.
After that, we will review Joker for cinematic analysis. And yes, you can subscribe to everyone else's YouTube channel if they do their own stuff. You can also check out our good friend Kevin from the Core Progression Podcast's podcast.
Shout out to Kevin.
Yeah. Shout out to Kevin for making these hilarious Machine Gun Kelly memes. Fuck him.
Oh yeah, fuck me.
Fuck you.
And you can also check out our good friend and former Moshcast member, Metalhead Max's own podcast and his YouTube channel too.
Go check him out. We miss him. Moshcast, by the way, buddy.
We miss you, buddy. And stay tuned for Caskets, Lost Souls, and the War Rumble 2005.
Oh yeah.
Gentlemen.
And for Joker.
And also stay tuned, guys, for our Royal Rumble 2022 predictions and
that's coming up.
Coming soon.
We got a huge episode for you guys there.
Sir.
And hosted by our wonderful king, Wyatt. Bow down to the king.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm the king.
Oh, whoa now.
What am I hosting?
All down to the
You are hosting the next Crash and Burn episode and our huge Royal Rumble predictions.
Yes.
Bing bong.
That
Bing
ends off today's episode, everyone. Hope you all enjoyed. Leave a comment, like, and subscribe. Peace out.
Yeah.
Peace out, keep crashing and burning, and rock on. Bye.
Keep fucking.
Crash and burn!